Eli has this thing where he does this espresso thing. Is it like a ritual?
I think it is. I don't think I can drink an espresso without doing my little stir.
Why? Where did it start?
I just did it once. I don't know why, and then it's just carried on. Then I was like, let me start posting it.
Yeah.
And then now people send me things like, oh, I'm doing the stir.
Yeah.
And then we tried to come up with a name. I think we've established it's going to be called the Eli stir. That's
Eli
what people have said, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I was like the Eli swirl, but I don't know if that...
Swirl is more... We like swirl? I think swirl. Should we
What do
switch
you
it to
mean?
swirl?
I think so.
Yeah, the Eli swirl.
Did I just do something here, guys?
I think it's just happened.
I guess we bring it up here because, you know.
The people's.
Yeah.
Okay,
people
so
need to see.
we just give it a little one of these.
Okay.
And then there should be some like liquid on the back of the spoon now.
Right.
Down here, we just do one circle round.
Right.
Yeah.
This is where the magic is created.
That's where the magic is created, and then we just down it. Cheers.
Cheers.
You alright? It is good coffee. I'm Eli Mwenda.
Yeah.
Hi. Episode 5? 5 or 6? 5?
6. So did you always know that you wanted to be in the limelight, or it just happened gradually?
No, like I'm an introvert. I don't. Okay, I promise you.
You're an introvert.
I promise you.
You were telling me like I'm an ex. I'm like, there's no way you're an introvert.
Maybe we're just faking it. Maybe that's what
I think that's what we're doing, right?
We're just faking it. But no, genuinely, I'm actually quite a quiet person. I've always said I'm a financial extrovert. So if it's got to do with work, I can be an extrovert. Like I can do it, but I prefer financial extroverts. Yeah. I prefer to just be like in my house chilling.
Yeah.
With like 2-3 people.
Yeah.
Like quiet.
How old are you?
30.
Okay. Okay, so we're age mates at this point.
Nice. And it's your birthday soon, so
I know. Next week, guys.
Happy days.
Yeah. Yesterday I saw you posted a video just thanking your audience. Because you asked a question like, what is it about Eli's content that, you know, and I think it reminded you why you love creating content in the first place. So what is it about content creation that you really love, that I think it made you realize, you know, this is something that I love, but what is it exactly?
So it's a way, and I've said this so many times, that I've always thought of my content as some sort of service to my audience, and I always wanted to give them some sort of value. And I thought just fashion and dressing doesn't do that. But then I realized how much it actually affects guys when they don't know how to put outfits together. It affects their confidence, it affects their social circle, it affects their job. So like there's a lot that comes from just appearance. Then I realized, okay, there's I keep using the word pressure, but there's like an expectation that I'm gonna help them in that sense.
Yeah.
And then even when it came to, you know, helping people on the pod as well, I realized that me making the content, I got such gratification because of the kind of responses I got from guys like in a cafe walking around saying that I've helped them in some sort of way. So even though, you know, there's the business side, there's so many other things that happen, I've realized that from what I was doing, it was impacting guys in a really positive way. So that's why I just said on the video, like, you can go many years doing it and then you kind of forget why until you ask your audience. Like,
you got a bit emotional as
well. Oh my God, yeah.
Like I felt that. I watched it, I was like, yo, this is...
Oh, dude, like, so the night before, well, we can be candid.
Yeah, let's go there, man.
The night before, I put the question up and I was on the phone to someone just like for a while, just chatting. And I was like, hey, cool, it's actually Oscar. So we're just chatting about like business, cool. And it was like 11:30. I was like, okay, bro, see you later. Cool, we've got a meeting tomorrow. So I put the phone down. I was like, oh yeah, I did the question box.
Yeah.
So I start scrolling. I'm like, you know when you get the little thing here?
Yeah.
I was like, guys, stop it. And then I went to bed, I was like, dude, like, you're about to stop because of like negative factors, but seeing like loads of just beautiful messages, I realized, okay, this is more than just like fashion and chatting.
There's something that you said that I really resonate with. It's service to others.
100%.
I think that's where fulfillment comes in, when it's not, sure, you gain some things for yourself, obviously, you know, you can monetize your content, whatever. But when the motive is actually serving others and in anything that you do, 100%. I feel like that's where the fulfillment
100%.
comes in.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Ikigai, the concept?
No,
so
tell me.
Essentially, it's like a Japanese concept where finding purpose in life is made up of a few quadrants, right? So one is doing something that you love, doing something that's of service to others, doing something that the world needs, and something that can make you money. And then when you get all of those quadrants together, inside is where you sort of find purpose. So that's sort of to your point as well. Yeah, it's a really good book. You should read it. It's really good.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
I can say right now you definitely have influence, right?
Thank you.
For sure. Now, if your character isn't right, it's more like an, filling your ego cup. Yeah. You know, because there's the admiration, the positive comments. Like when people meet you, they're like, "Oh my God, Eli!"
Yeah, that's
you know
weird.
what I mean.
That's always weird.
So how do you stay grounded?
Do you know, I at least once a month I will ask my family.
Yeah.
Like, am I the same? Like, I generally have that
Yeah.
same conversation. And I told them that you have to keep answering me like every single month. So there's talking to the people that know you for you, even when you're like 2-3 years old. Like my boys back home will chat, and they can pick up if, like, you know, you're
There's
kind of
something
on
a bit off.
chill, like relax, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then it might sound kind of mean, but I've always said, as much as yes, it's love, it's admiration. At the core, not to get deep, but like at the core of the people that actually love you, it's just your family. Everything else is like by the way, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
But I just always remember that the same way it can be really positive, in like a day it can switch and be negative.
It's good that you said that, because so how do you deal with the negative part of being a public figure? You know, you've got like rumors on blogs and the negative comments. It could be like you're trending on Twitter and
that happened.
you're like, yeah?
Yeah.
How did you deal with that?
Do you know, it's so weird. There's, okay, you know, like 5 stages of grief. I feel
Yeah.
like it's slightly similar.
Before you, do you have thick skin, or is it something that you've been able to?
I'm very pragmatic.
Okay.
I'd say that. I'm an emotional guy, but I'm also quite pragmatic. So even when there's emotion attached, I can kind of contextualize it and put it here.
Right.
However,
Yeah.
because the 5 stages I mentioned,
Right.
you could do that for so long, but ultimately your emotions will sort of come out.
Yeah.
And as a guy, a lot of the time you sort of make a shell, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it will come out emotionally. So when something like that happens, my first approach is, I'm a very competitive guy, right? So when something negative happens, I'm like, I'm going to be even better. So that, you know, that kind of coming from a toxic place where if you don't like what I've done, I'm going to do it even better. But again, it can only carry you for so long. You have to at some point address the fact that even though you've reacted like that, there is some pain associated to what you've seen. You can read a comment and say you don't care, but like 3 months later, you can be driving and be like, oh God, maybe I am, you know?
Maybe you care.
Maybe I am that. Maybe I do care. So as much as my first reaction is very calculated, if it's on a PR level where, you know, don't respond, wait for some time, take this down, don't respond to these sort of things, you can do it. But then when you're dealing with yourself in those sort of quiet moments, I try to just allow myself to feel.
Are you hard on yourself?
I'm not hard on myself, but I'm...
Generally, are you typically...
as on the whole, when it comes to like work,
you have a high standard for yourself, so it means that you tend to...
Exactly. Which is why when the negative things come, I'm like, let me raise the standard again.
Right.
Yeah, so I try to also let myself feel, let myself like say that comment did hurt me. I can feel it. It doesn't mean like you're weaker because it didn't impact you.
Right.
So that's typically been
something
my
I'm
approach.
also learning. It's you know, you can say it doesn't really matter. I think I actually talked about it I don't know which episode, but there's power in actually admitting like this thing hurt me.
Did, yeah, 100%.
It did.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make you weak. It can feel weak at that moment, but being vulnerable is not weak.
100%.
Yeah.
Are you nervous about the whole idea of that happening?
Dude, because so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I just went public on Instagram last week.
No way. I always assumed because I was in the gang.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, you're in the homies list, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I went public last week and then I got like an influx of followers. Ooh. So from 1,700 to 4K.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've never been public. I've always been private. I think even when I'm posting, it's once in a while, right? Yeah. I think right now would be actually a great opportunity to thank all you guys who have subscribed. Dude, I have 112 subscribers.
No way.
Yeah.
And you're 4 episodes.
5 episodes.
This is 6.
Yeah.
That's really sick.
And then on Sunday, I met a subscriber. Her name is Louisa from Harvest. So shout out to you.
Louisa. From the restaurant? Harvest?
Yeah, Harvest.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we were just having dinner and then she's like, are you from Flo and Friends? And I was like, no way.
Stop.
No, stop. No, so for real, I think at that moment it made me realize it's not just a number, it's actually people.
It's such a weird thing to see a physical human.
They're like,
I've actually sat down and
that was really cool and surreal for me. So I guess it got me thinking like, how do you again navigate the space? Because you still want to be authentic to your audience, right?
100%, yeah.
But it's almost like a tag of war where you want to share enough to be relatable and authentic.
Yeah.
But also you want to keep your privacy.
100%. Yeah, it's a weird balancing act.
Yeah.
I think the only things I'm private with is when it comes to like safety and security.
Yeah.
So like my reg, where I live, where I am in real time if my family's with me. Those are the only things that I don't show.
Oh, I need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, because I had one moment, this was so weird, like just before COVID.
Yeah.
I posted, there was like I think it was when lockdown just first happened. Yeah. So I posted outside my house from my balcony, like, oh my God, there's like no one on the street and it's like 5 p.m. And then someone's like, I know where you live. I said, okay. That'll be the first and last time
don't know where you
ever
live.
post.
It was quick too, right?
100%. I was like, okay, take that down.
Yeah.
And some of my friends even hit me up like, bro, you know, that's quite obvious because of what's opposite you.
Yeah.
I calculate my point of view sometimes, or how
Okay.
I express it on the pod. Because as much as you want to say exactly how you feel, things live on the internet forever.
Yeah.
And people can take things really, like, very much out of context.
Yeah.
So I think also what you'll find is there's like a natural filter that happens when you're telling a story, even just for like context reasons. You won't say the date, you won't say this. You'll kind of use certain loose terms, so everything's not specific. So that's the only kind of boundaries I put.
Yeah.
When it comes to like
The reason why I'm smiling is that I learned that the hard way.
Oh no way! What happened?
Just recently,
What happened?
there's a story that I told. It blew up. Yeah.
Which one was it? The club one with the wife? No.
No, it's the one. Oh my God.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So people knew exactly.
Yeah.
Who...
Yeah. And then I think at that point, do I regret it? No. But
gang.
yeah, but I realized, I
Yeah.
really need to be careful and think twice about what I'm saying. It's not necessarily to inhibit my thoughts, but to be very cautious and tactful in the things that I say.
100%.
Speaking of privacy, I think we all want to know. We all want to
What's
know.
coming?
The ladies want to know.
Okay, plural, ladies.
Ladies,
Yeah.
does Eli have someone special in their life?
You know, Flo.
Come on
you know how
now.
I said how you
Should
can
also
tell
drink some water as well.
You can tell a story and use tactical pauses.
No, guys, we want to know. I think I want to know. A lot of people want to know.
This is an interesting one. It's very funny you're asking me today.
Yeah.
I'm currently single.
Okay.
However, I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
So I'm actively.
However, that however was.
Notwithstanding,
Yeah.
I'm single now,
Okay.
but I'm in conversation. I'm also not single soon. Maybe. No, but. No, okay, no, I'm
Someone's
I'm
tripping
still,
over the words.
I really, as a podcaster, this is not ideal.
No.
No, I am single, but I'm definitely searching. And I've been having interesting conversations lately.
Yeah.
But it's very, it's like
Interesting conversations lately.
Very interesting conversations.
Yeah. And that's going well? Yeah.
It's really I don't want to say it and then it's like nothing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I watched the episode back like, oh, I remember that was like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the moment it's very, very early days.
Is it hard for you, again, because you're a public figure, to that side of your...
It's really hard.
Yeah?
Like there's a few things I don't like. I don't like...
Take notes, ladies.
Yeah, please. I don't like when I meet somebody, and okay, it's fine, you have the internet, it's fine, but I don't like when someone's impressed with me off the bat. I'm like, get to know me first and be either disappointed or impressed, but don't just be like, you can do nothing wrong. Oh my God,
They've
this is
already
amazing.
put you in a pedestal.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can only like fail at this point. So there's that. Then there's,
it's almost like a fantasy, isn't it?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you don't feel like a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking like I'm Jay-Z. I'm literally.
Come on now, come on.
No.
Do you know what you're called you're called baby boy?
Really? By in the what? In the streets? My goodness, man.
In the streets, man.
Baby boy.
You don't even know this.
No, by who?
I don't know.
Who are you?
On the internet,
Who
man.
are you? Really?
Yeah.
Damn. So we call ourselves sweet boys.
Whoa.
Man talk. That's our thing.
Whoa, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we have like a sweet boy society, and I'm the chairman of this society.
What?
Yeah, it's like a thing. So when you say baby boy, I was like, interesting. Yeah.
Sweet boy.
It's like a thing. Sweet
It's a
boy.
thing.
Yeah, SBS.
Whoa.
Gang.
Whoa. Gang,
Yeah,
gang.
gang.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So it's definitely difficult, and also the whole information imbalance.
Yeah.
Can be weird. To say we're at dinner, and I tell you a story like, oh yeah, I saw. Or like, I went to this really cool place. Yeah, I saw. I'm like, I can't surprise you. Yeah.
Right.
So there's that, and then it's now me kind of mining for information from that person. But then they've calculated their answer based on how much they know about me already to give perfect answers. So there's that, which can be annoying, but you know, it's occupational.
It comes with it.
Yeah.
It comes with territory.
Yeah.
So how have you been able to make genuine friends in, I guess, the influencer world? Because there's a little bit of superficiality in it.
A lot of it.
So how do you like, you know,
so there's
discriminate like this person is genuine and then
ultimately
and not being sucked into that world
and just like enjoying the like clout and stuff.
Yeah.
So we have my mother taught me this whole thing. We talk about it on the pod all the time. It's called FMS, so Friendship Management System. So basically, I have friends
Shout out to
Mumsy.
Yeah.
We have I have friends for certain things. So I know that when I'm hanging with you, it's just because I want vibes and good times. We're not gonna get deep and talk about, you know, the state of the world and like politics. Then I have like other people where we can get really deep on an emotional level, but we can't have fun because you're So on a very selfish level, I don't use people, but I categorize people so that when I'm having a connection with that person, this is our genuine connection right now is an emotional connection.
Yeah.
And our genuine connection is we just have fun.
Yeah.
But then finding somebody, there's only a few people I think in life that you'll find where
that
you can
covers
do
all the spectrum.
of that, and typically you'll end up being with that person.
Yeah.
Or they're going to become like one of your best friends. So I have like, I can count on my hands the kind of people that I have the full quadrant with. But then I have so many other friends, associates that I just, you know, categorize for certain things.
Yeah. There's something I said last week. I was like, why is it that toxic friends are so much fun?
So much fun. Exactly.
So much
It's
fun.
so much fun. And there's a space
When you're
for them.
out, oh my God.
Just vibes.
Until you bring them into your personal space and you're like, oh,
yeah, we
you
can't
get
talk about
burnt.
anything.
No.
Yeah.
That kind of pisses me off because it's like
It's
I had
annoying.
so much expectations for you, you know?
Yeah.
So you lived in the UK or were you born there?
I was born here. I always say I was born in Westlands.
Okay.
But I left when I was like, what, 3 weeks old? Yeah, but I still have to hold on.
No, it's okay.
I still, you know,
to the flag.
I have to hold on to the flag.
Yeah.
So yeah, I left super early. So I was literally my father just said, okay, give birth, then dip. So he literally came for 4 days.
He knew what he was doing.
He came for 4 days. He's like, okay, cool, I have a child. I'm gonna go. Just meet us there.
Yeah.
And then he dipped, and then we followed. I'd done the whole like, you know, finding out where I'm from thing.
Yeah.
On a theory level.
I saw something on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You're finding your is it blackness or something? Yeah.
That was
very
one of
interesting
my first,
conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. That was when I had a channel as Eli. That was like, when was that? Like 20.
I
early
saw
doors.
that episode was like 4 years ago. 4
Yeah,
5
like
years
a while
ago.
Yeah. So that was when I came here. I'd just done that journey. Then I was like, oh my God, I'm here. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
And I just kept pushing my flight, and then it's been like 4 years now.
Yeah.
4 years. Yeah.
So I watched that video and oh my God, Kenyans, man. So
oh no.
Yeah, no. I mean, great. Kenyans are great. But I find it so interesting. So you lived in the UK. How was the transition to now becoming a Kenyan content creator? And sometimes that can be rough, 100%. Considering the background you've come from.
Yeah.
And then the English accent.
There's that. That's the thing. Yeah.
So were you met with resistance?
Do you know, there's, I think I'm just met with a lot of preconceptions. Either that
Nicole, you know, the negative connotation of being a cool kid.
Exactly, yeah. And they just assume I'm going to be a certain way.
And spoiled.
Exactly. They think I'm going to be like arrogant, not really talk, etc. But I always say like that's on you to deal with. I'm just going to be like who I am myself. But then in terms of the content space, even to this day, I'm not fully like embraced by my peers, if I'm very honest. I'm at a stage right now, by the way, I'm radically honest. Since I turned 30, I don't know. Like, I don't really care.
Good, I like that.
So yeah, I think even to this day, I've been doing it for a long time. And that's why I have the FMS thing, because we might be boys when it comes to content, etc. But I know where we sort of draw the line. So yeah, even just having that different context of growing up, there is still that element of you're still not completely Kenyan, but then you're still not, you know, you from the UK when you're there.
Yeah.
So
did it cause a bit of an identity?
But I've always had it. So I grew up in a very white area, Oxfordshire. So it was just like white people.
The name Oxfordshire.
Yeah. So like there was we're like the first black family. Then I moved.
Did you think you were white? No, I'm joking.
No, I swear, honestly, I didn't think I was white, but I didn't think black was a thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, I look different, but you don't see yourself every day in the mirror.
Right.
So you forget, oh yeah, no.
I'm
different.
Yeah.
It's only when like your friends' mums and stuff start to being like, okay, has he taken anything? You know, that's the only time you kind of go, why do you? But my parents were very good at shielding me from like cultural context when it came to racism and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just vibing. It was only when I got to like 18, I started to understand there's a thing called like racism. And so my friends also started understanding there's a difference between black and white. Because before that, we were just innocent kids.
You guys were just human beings.
We were just kids playing football, climbing trees, you know, fighting. Like it was great.
Yeah.
Not the fighting, but yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
But so I didn't ever think that there was a difference until I sort of got older. So I've kind of embraced it and said, that's just who I am, it's fine. I'm just like nomad is a strong word, but I'm just not, I don't have like an anchor place.
You're a bit of a nomad in the internet space, a little bit.
Exactly,
yeah.
But it has its perks.
It does, yeah?
Yeah,
what are perks.
they? Some people like the accent, do you know what I mean? Sometimes
the accent is dope, bro.
Sometimes it helps. So there's that, like, but it doesn't give me as much like privilege as people would think when it comes to getting jobs, when it comes to doing this stuff. Because a lot of the time, people would rather give it to somebody that sounds like them.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, oh, he doesn't need it, let's give it to someone else.
Yeah.
So it is,
I think where you've won is just staying true to yourself and
Exactly.
authentic. And someone told me, like, you can come up with gimmicks and, you know, to get traction. But being authentic sometimes can be a bit slow. But you have, like, your audience, they really ride for you.
Yeah, you find your tribe, right?
You do.
You find your tribe.
Like, they know who you are. They have the same values or even interests. And even though sometimes they might not agree with you, it's like, yeah, I vibe with this person.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's a thing I've seen as an outsider that you've done really well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I think I'll follow suit as well.
Okay.
One of the things that I I really battled with was, I mean, one, putting yourself out there is scary to me.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking earlier, like, I did not even think I would be in front of the camera. I've always been behind. And then the leap from literally no social media to like podcasting, guys were like, hey, what? Flo, what is going on?
I was also shocked. I was like, this is amazing.
I know, right?
I'm kind of like an enigma we didn't know about. And then it's good.
So it was, even watching some of the videos, I was just like, God damn, Flo, you're such a cringe fest. No, I know, but maybe to other people, sure, you know, but you know, I can be quite hard on myself. So I was just watching videos on how to, you know, accept who you are. And it dawned to me, embracing the cringe.
Right.
Because this idea of being cool can actually hinder your progress of doing whatever you need to do. I mean, there can be there's some people who have a natural flair in whatever they do. But for the most, like for us average people, we have to, you know, go through the rough patch, the bumpy, until you find your way. So did you go through something like that, or was it just, or you just never really cared? You're like, you know what?
Yeah, I don't. So, I think especially when it came to online, you know, how people say they really overthink like what they post, they overthink what people think. I never had that, and it wasn't because I'd worked to myself. I was really confident. I just always looked at online as it's not actually that real, and also because my audience started small, so I kind of knew everyone that viewed my story, and then as it carried on going, it started to become like a career, etc. That's when I started. That's the only time I thought, okay, brand perception. That's the only time I thought, would this
the business
offend
side
another
of
brand?
it.
Yeah, like do I hold this certain cup if I'm working with another brand? It's only then that I started to calculate how I'm perceived outside.
Right.
But it's only ever been from a commercial point of view. Like it's never been from like a opinions point of view.
You guys are a different breed, because I went through this thing. Maybe I guess it. I wouldn't say I care necessarily what people think of me or how I'm perceived. Obviously, the people that are close to me, I care about what they think because they're going to tell me the truth. But it's in real life, I really don't. But then I also realized there's this other side of me on the internet. Maybe I actually cared.
Right, and it's having that moment with yourself and saying, do I?
Yeah, like what is it that I care? Am I scared of failing?
Go ahead.
In front of everyone? Actually, that leads to my next point. How have you dealt with failure, considering that you have a lot of people watching you? How do you fail well? Because, you know, we have a lot of information where how you need to put boundaries or to build your character when success comes. But with failure, it's like get up. Yeah, don't feel the button and you just keep going. Yeah. But no one really talks about how you feel well. Yeah. Have you ever been...
So there's a really nice quote that Will Smith said ages ago. He says, fail,
bro, this guy's just dropping knowledge. Whoa.
But I've always taken this to heart. It's like fail often, fail forward.
Yeah.
And then like learn from your failure. But he says it in a more articulate way.
Yeah.
So I've always...
That was pretty concise in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. So I think he... from that, it's kind of a similar attitude that I've had. I've kind of realized that, you know, you don't really learn when everything's rosy. There's not much you can learn when things are flying because you kind of get complacent. Yeah. And you have to go out of your way to learn from someone else's failure, if it's a book, etc. So when I have a failure, the first thing I do is like, okay, I need to, back to my point, I need to feel it. I need to feel the failure because otherwise you'll just suppress it and then that thing will sort of bug you. And then ultimately you try to think, okay, in theory this sounds great, but it's hard when you're going through it. You try to think, okay, ultimately in like 3 years' time, will I care about this failure and will I have learned from this failure? So I try to think of like future me because you sort of reference your earlier failures and you say, okay, that I don't care about that failure now, so it's fine. However, like I've said, on a theoretical level, it's like, okay, yeah, context is fine, but you have to sit there. Sometimes you're irrational and you do think, okay, what do people think of me if I failed, especially publicly? Yeah. But then after you've gone through those emotions, you do come back to like stability, and then I think, okay, context, timelines, etc.
Yeah.
So that's how I've tried to do it online. But then back to my point where I was saying that nothing's really real, and people's opinions, they're fine, it's good, but ultimately they're not your family.
They're
so
a bit
even
fleeting, aren't
exactly,
they?
yeah, they'll be here for a day, they'll go tomorrow. So even when there's an opinion based on your failure, you're like, okay, you don't actually care. This is just, you felt like you should have commented, you felt like you should have shared something because it was relevant. But you, after you've posted or they've commented, they don't really care about what they've said about you. So it's just stepping back and looking at it from a bigger
picture.
POV.
I'd also say, just to add on to that, I think the thing that has also really pushed me is, you know, when you can do something or you're called or drawn to do something, but maybe because you care about what people think, or, you know, when you see other people doing or fulfilling their dreams, and you could be that person, but then what happens is when you don't do that, is that you start almost accruing envy and jealousy.
Yeah,
you know, because other people's ideas are being fulfilled. So to that, I just say, yo, man, just do it. Just do it, you know.
And the weirdest thing is when it's digital, it's very obvious that they're doing exactly what you want to do. There's no like hidden promotion. There's no like hidden this. It's like, especially, and working in digital, you must have seen this on the back end. Like when you see there's a pitch or a deal that they've come to you with, you've negotiated, it's not gone to you. 3 weeks later, you'll see the campaign somewhere else. So that's one of the weirdest things when it comes to comparison and failure on a digital space, because it's everything is public.
How have you dealt with that? Like
back to my negativity. I kind of think, okay, fine, I'm gonna do even better.
Okay.
And you're gonna have to hire me. You're gonna have to work with me, even if you don't want to, because my numbers will be good, or like it's too perfect to say no to. So that's normally my reaction. But I still feel things. That's my ultimate.
You've got that chutzpah, bruh. Yo.
I think it's just from like playing sports and stuff earlier. Like I don't like failing like that.
That's a good, you know, I've always thought like when I have kids, for sure my kids will have to be involved in sports.
100%.
The discipline.
100%, yeah.
It's good that they have that competitive edge. You know, it's good that they understand what winning and losing feels like.
Right? 100%.
You know, and then collaboration and working with other people. You know,
and that accountability when you do fail. What did I do to make the team? It's so key. Do you have things in place for you when failure comes already?
I went through like a little bit of a bumpy road just very recently, and I had to do not fluent friends very quickly. So what I realized I do, which is a bit funny, is that I almost trapped myself. So what happened with like the podcast is I just decided I'm going to do this. I did not give myself any time to overthink it. So I opened the page and then I posted it.
Yeah, so you don't. That's
yeah,
really
and then I made calls and I was like, we're shooting this Thursday. Amazing. And then we shot and I'm like, what am I doing? And then we edited and then I put it out there. I was like, well, I guess
it's here now.
It's here now.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, so I trapped myself in that sense, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
100%. I'm actually going to use that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like you're saying, the overthinking, the stewing, you come back with like 10 reasons why not to.
But to your point, I don't ignore the emotions. Because when I think back, I was tempted to say I don't care. But then I sat down and I said, I actually really care.
Yeah.
And I cried a little bit.
Oh, Flo. That didn't make it
no, it didn't. But then I was like, yeah, I do care. And it made me feel like this. And then I was met with emotions. Am I going to be interesting enough?
Oh, yeah. You start.
Why would people even listen to me in the first place? And to that point, have you ever dealt with impostor syndrome? Are you a high achiever?
I like to think so.
You look like you're a high achiever.
I like to think so. Yeah, I think, and this is down back to the high standards, and also I think it's my upbringing. I think as much as I have very empathetic parents, they've always demanded excellence, not by telling me, but by showing me that they're doing it.
Which is the best way.
100%. So I think the day that I realized, okay, I'm not allowed to be mediocre, I had the benefit of like shadowing my father during a business venture, right? So working in Central Europe, and I was watching his work ethic, and he was just retired. It was his last project. He was like 60, getting up at 4 a.m.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm 21, and I'm like, I can't get up.
I know.
So I was like, okay,
I don't want to.
I know. So I was like, okay, I have to firstly get up at the same time or before him, because I'm younger. Like I need to be.
Yeah.
So he didn't ever tell me to get up, but I had to sort of mirror that. So through seeing that, then seeing how he worked with clients, how he worked with on a professional level, the biggest thing for me watching was like integrity. So I kind of took all of those things and I said, okay, this is what I have to implement in my life. And ultimately, when you do those sort of things, you do become a high achiever. But I still feel like I'm still on like 1 out of 100.
So how do you deal with like self-doubt and feelings of
the imposter
incompetence?
syndrome?
Yeah.
I think I've always felt like an imposter anyway.
Really?
Because I've said like I've always been outside. So I've kind of embraced it. Because like I said, growing up, being black in a white area, being considered white in Kenya.
But wait, do you not feel like all you've done and maybe you don't feel like you deserve?
No, I know I deserve it. I feel like I deserve more. And does that make sense? I feel like I deserve more, but even if I'm doing it while I'm not considered, so people might think that I don't, but I know the work that I've put in. So that kind of takes away the imposter syndrome for me.
I think to me that sounds like faith.
Really?
Yeah, that is not imposter syndrome to me. Yeah, that sounds like faith.
I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that. Maybe I got hung up on the word imposter. Because imposter being on the outside, I was like, obviously I'm an imposter. You know?
No, you're not at all. I guess with imposter syndrome, it's more like all the work that you've done. And when you reach a point and you just feel like, why am I even here? Why do I even deserve this? It's feelings of inadequacy and
the deserving.
And not feeling like you're enough to, you're not proud of yourself.
Oh, okay, I definitely don't have it then.
Yeah, you definitely.
No,
you're a go-getter. You're like, you know what,
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that I don't have moments. Because I've realized, especially when you hear all these like motivational guys, like, get up at 4 a.m, never have a bad day. Like I
with
realized
the music,
I'm like, dude, you cry. Like, stop it. If that video doesn't do well, you're crying. So as much as I can go get it. It doesn't matter. Like, even if you're on the outside, push. Yeah. Excellence. The excellence does also come with a lot of bad days and a lot of self-doubt, like you're saying. So there is, it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
But I think just as long as the higher percentage is that going, you can sort of deal with the worst days. I'd never like to put the perception of I'm always good out there.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about man talk.
That's such a funny story. So back when I said I was doing fashion on my page.
Yeah.
And I said I wanted to do way more. I wanted to give more substance.
Yeah.
And I'd gone on a self-development journey like just before I came to Kenya. So all I was doing, those motivational speaker guys, I was reading all these books, all this stuff, and I was like, I have so much information just coming out my ears.
Yeah.
And all I'd do is share it with my family, and they used to get tired of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, do you know this? Have you heard of this concept? It's called like jab, jab, hook, all these sort of stuff. And then they're like, no, this is really good. We've watched you like evolve. And I think because everyone goes through their like formative, rebellious years, but going through that self-development journey, I changed in like a year. I was a completely different person. So now I had all this information here, and I was posting online. Guys like, oh my God, I love your fashion. I was like, yeah, but do you love my mind? Right? Yeah. So I was like,
it's like, oh my God, that is so true. Because people say, I love your hair, but it's like, do you want to hear more from me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have things to
I've been
offer.
told you should do beauty content. It's like, but like, I want to do more.
Yeah, you want to give more, right?
Yeah.
And it feels better than just, I see what you mean. Like, grooming skincare is like fine.
It's like, how many times you want to know like my skin regimen?
Yeah, it's the same thing every time.
It's the same damn thing.
Every single time.
Yeah.
So I had that exact same moment. I was like, and especially I was looking at the sort of guys that were commenting, and they were like young guys, college guys, trying to recreate my outfit on a budget. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But like, what if I could give you that
even
to
more.
make you feel good when you're dressing, and then also a good POV.
Yeah.
So I was going through that not crisis, but that moment.
Yeah.
And then I remember I've never said this before, I actually shot loads of pilot episodes, because at this point I didn't have a big audience.
Yeah. How many followers did you have?
4,000. And they were mostly from the UK. It's like 4K.
Yeah.
If that. Like, it was under 5. I remember it was under 5. And I sat with someone, he actually, I don't care, this was a few years ago. He actually exploited me in terms of the budget for the recording of it. So he was like, yeah, I can help you, make all these trailers. And the concept was, I'm going to make a trailer and like call out people to come and sit on the chair and talk about their life journey. That was my whole thing.
Right.
So I made it was so cringy. So I'd like walk down the stairs.
So you went through the cringe moment.
Oh my God, yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay.
Like I never posted those videos. Because I remember.
I need to see some of those.
Oh, I don't even know where they are.
To make me feel better about myself.
No, this is way better. Trust me. Then it was really bad. Like, this is not cringe.
Come on.
This is not cringe. We have like a nice background. It's a vibe. This was bad. I'm like, I thought I was like bloody. I was trying to be like Jeff Quinange. Put it that way. So I'd like walk down the stairs and I'm like, hi.
Hi. Wait, just do that in front of the camera.
I'd walk down the stairs. I was coming down the stairs and I was like, hi, my name's Eli Mwenda, and I want to hear from you.
Well,
yeah, I was like,
that's not bad.
No, but then I'd say like the person's name. So I did like 30 takes.
Whoa.
Where I'll just say some of the names because they're my friends now. So I'll come downstairs and I'll be like, my name's Eli Mwenda, and I want to hear from you, Joy Kendi. What do you think? And I'd say like, and I'd call out, I had a list of people. So I did the takes, about 30 takes.
Dude, I love the audacity.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I didn't know them. I was just going to call them out and tag them, right? So then I never actually got all the edits firstly from this guy. He overcharged me. And then I had a flight back to the UK like a week later. And then when I got back, he was supposed to now start posting.
Yeah.
But as soon as he got his cash, he just like dipped. And I was like, oh, I got like 3 out of 30.
Asking you Kenyans.
I swear.
Was he Kenyan?
Yeah, it was Kenyan. Yeah. You know who you are. You know who you are. Yeah. So we did that. Parallel to this, one of my friends was opening a barbershop called Man Cave. And he was like, I want to do more with my space.
Yeah.
And then, so we were on 2. Then another story is now Oscar, my co-host.
Yes.
He's a lawyer. And so he used to go to that barbershop and he was telling the guy that owned the barbershop, dude, you should do like something to do with men here. Like it's a really nice space. Then the next week we were recording our 2nd episode.
Yeah.
I say second shoot day with 3 episodes.
Right.
And then Oscar was like, I'll come. So we're like, okay, cool. So we all sit there, we start recording, and we realized that me and O were just like, I call him O.
Yeah.
Me and O were like bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you're really
I've seen
smart.
that your chemistry
It's
is
like, it was from day
so
one.
green.
Yeah, it was like from day one. And I
Yeah.
remember after we recorded, we sat there and we're like, dude, you're really smart. And he was like, dude, you're really smart. And I was like, do you want to come back? I know, it was so cute. And then we're like, okay, cool, let's do it. And he was like, okay, fine. So he kept coming back to record. Then there was 4 of us. And then after a while, I think life got in the way for the other guys. We're like, cool, they're still our boys to this day. They did their other thing. And then me and O were like, let's keep on doing this thing. So we're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then we registered a production company. And then since then, we've just been going back to back every week making
Yeah.
episodes. So we actually met just because of the pod.
Wow.
And then we sort of carried on.
Shit, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
I know, right? Yeah.
Wait, okay, so you and Oscar, Oscar Kuhn, right?
Yes.
You guys were friends before?
No, we met through our mutual friend when we were having that meeting. He just like, oh, if you
Interesting.
ever need a guest.
So I wanted
the
to
pod.
ask you, because if you guys were friends, I really wanted to know how is it that you guys have been able to separate the friendship from the business? Because that does not always work.
Do you know what? We don't. We make sure we don't because we feel like the product is our friendship. So like when we're on the pod, the fact we have loads of stories that we can never tell, but we both know what we're talking about, but we can say, how we tell stories in a certain way.
Right.
We can say the ultimate lesson or the punchline together. That makes the episode slap. And when there's a guest there, because we hang out in loads of social settings, like trips, travel, all this sort of things. When we're hosting and we can see a guest is uncomfortable or something, we can kind of know. Just because we've
You
seen
can
each
feel
other.
it, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen each other
Yeah.
in so many just scenarios that
Yeah.
when we're on set, it just takes like a little movement,
right.
and then you know. So our friendship, we haven't ever tried to separate it from the business. But what happens when we are talking business is we can disagree, but ultimately there's so much respect. So we will just hit each other's POV, and we've never had a position where we lock heads. It's always like, I think this. No, yours is better. Cool, we move. But that only comes from being friends.
Yeah.
That's how we've kind of navigated.
Very good. I'd say Man Talk has a huge net positive, for sure. Hey, I know you. I'm just touching your heart.
So did you see? I was like, come on now. Yeah.
But now that when the platform becomes even bigger, because right now it's
manageable.
It's quite something.
Yeah,
You realize the impact it has and pressure, the word that you like to use.
Yes.
How do you deal with that pressure? Because now you really have to think. I mean, you have young men who are looking at this and like, oh, Eli, I want to. At this point, I think you have some young men who are saying, I want to be like Eli, or I want to be like Oscar, right? So how do you deal with that pressure? Because
I think it's
getting bigger.
It's getting bigger and bigger, and then even like doing a season like in London. And then we've got ambitions to do seasons in different scenarios. We're now going to be interacting with people.
I saw something you posted, the golf thing.
Oh, we did an episode on a golf course.
Yeah.
That was with
so cool.
Mr. Quebec. Yeah, so that was actually Oscar's mentor.
Very good.
So I think he's head of their law firm. So then we were talking with the law firm, and then they said, this would be amazing if we got to celebrate the anniversary if we got one of the partners to come on.
Yeah, I'm picking some tips here.
Oh yeah,
man.
just like go to like different scenarios.
Yeah,
like, mix
if
it
it
up
makes
a little
sense.
bit, 100%. If
Yeah.
there's
There's
value
value.
from that guest,
Yes.
and someone like him will like, okay, let's go to you.
Yeah.
But to answer your question in terms of pressure and expanding, I think we're very similar, me and Oscar, in terms of how we approach pressure. Because as much as there's pressure of like positive pressure where it's you're getting bigger, that's like positive pressure which we can thrive from every day.
Yeah.
The pressure that's hard is the back end, the logistics, finances, running a business, managing staff. Like that's actually where the pressure comes from, because it's the things that people don't see.
Right.
I think for every episode that's gone out that's an hour, there's like 4 hours of sort of back end work that's gone into it, and there's finances that, you know, you're trying to monetize the brand, but there's a space where clients don't want to pay, then you have to float that cash yourself, and then you finally break even, then you go back into a deficit. Like podcasting, where it is at the moment, has so much back end pressure that when the pressure of someone's opinion comes, you're like, you've dealt with so much that doesn't even like scratch you. So it's fine. Yeah. But it's like paying production. Yeah. That's a real opinion. Like, you need to pay me. I need to. Yeah. It's like a real tangible thing.
I mean, I feel really blessed because I've got like good people like Wellington, who's actually, I told you, he taught me how to edit on Adobe.
First of all.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, God bless you, Wellington.
God bless Wellington.
Goodness, man.
Yeah, good one.
So episode 3, I edited the video. It was a 2-hour video, and I lost all the footage.
Pressure. Now these are the pressures. Yeah.
And I remember I slept like at 3:30. I was editing the whole like night, and I was just like, God damn.
Yeah. Did you get it back, the footage? Like how?
No. So I called Wellington, and I was like, yo, bro.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. And we needed to post the episode that Thursday, literally that same day.
Oh.
Do you know what Wellington did? He came with his CPU. The whole thing.
What?
And then we were editing here.
Wellington.
I know,
man. That's a real G.
Yeah.
That's definitely the harder side.
It really is. But isn't it so fulfilling?
Oh my God. Like when you bump into the person, they're like, I watched it, I loved it. Like, okay, I can stay up till 4
It's like, you know what it is.
It's never that, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it,
exactly.
you know?
Especially if you know you're giving positive vibes. Like, even if it's not anything profound, even just like someone's laughed, someone smiled, that for me, it makes it worth it.
Yeah. You're like a gym, what would you say? Freak?
Enthusiast,
right?
Right now, it's been a bad few months, but it's like it's been bad.
You haven't been going?
No.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Do you go to the gym for health benefits, or is it because you want to be lang?
Do you know?
So now when like he's doing these fashion videos, Anita, this guy's coming down the stairs. He's wearing these shorts.
Oh, no.
Monday.
Oh dear.
You know what you're doing? You're finishing these ladies, man. By the time it's Friday, no one's alive.
I'm dead. It's a crisis. Goodness.
Monday, Tuesday, and then you throw in that smile.
Just like, boom, there we go. Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
You know, I'm still single. Do you know what I mean? No, so oh God, I'm blushing. Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot here, yeah?
The gym
Let's
thing.
be honest, no one's working out. I mean, sure, you're going to live longer. I mean, who cares about that?
Do you know what I mean? Have a good life.
But the way your clothes fit, you know what I mean?
Thank you. I'm giving Pharrell right now. Yes, thank you.
Because even me, like, yes, I work out because, you know, sure, I mean, you know, you want to live long.
Yeah.
But you know when you wear that dress,
come on,
guys,
come on now,
and it's fitting nice,
you start walking a bit different,
you know,
the shoulders are swinging, come on now. So there's obviously an element of vanity in everyone. There is, let's be honest. But my
you know what you're doing.
No, I'm being like so. Let me tell you, my journey with vanity is an interesting one.
Just be honest.
I am.
Okay.
So I think initially when I first started working out, I remember the exact moment I realized exercise equals mass or like your body looking a certain way.
Yeah.
I remember I watched Die Hard right, when I was super young, and he wore a black t-shirt, and his arms filled the t-shirt, and I was like, how do I fill my t-shirt? And
that black t-shirt does not look the same.
Exactly, and it's a different t-shirt.
Cute.
It's a different t-shirt, 100%. So I said, I need to fill out my black t-shirt.
Yeah.
So I was like, I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I need to,
my
clothes aren't fitting.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's like, do push-ups. He was like, do push-ups.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. So I did push-ups, and I touched my arm. I was like, what? And my arm feels harder.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to do push-ups every single day.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. I was doing like, it went from like doing like 15 push-ups. Then I could do 20. Then I could do like 100 in like one set. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then your friends start saying, bro, what is
going on? Yeah.
And I was like, this is interesting. So it started with reaction. I'm like 16. It started with even girls being like, okay. Like, you know, I start wearing vests for no reason. Obviously, nothing's changed. But that was the initial why I started.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, let's go into the gym. And I started having like workout buddies, and that sport thing, that competitiveness came out. So I've gone through phases where I'm not a very tall guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to be like wedge.
Right.
So I went for a phase where I was like pretty large in terms of like muscle mass.
Yeah.
And then it was like really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, it's like
you're a bit laggy.
Yeah, you're just
and
like, you're tired,
stiff.
you're eating meat for no reason.
You feel heavy.
Honestly, it's like, it's not fun.
Oh my God, protein. Every time.
Every day, eggs.
Every time you're like, is there protein? You become, it's like a cult.
You're not fun anymore.
No.
You're not fun.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you're not fun anymore. So then I realized, okay, let me get shredded. So then all I cared about was like abs or like, you know, my veins popping. So I was like, okay. And now I'm like 19, 18.
In between.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, then I did that. Then I realized, okay, none of this is sustainable.
Right.
What's the real reason? Then I was also doing my degree in public health.
Right.
Then I started to be like, okay, health is a holistic thing.
Yeah.
You can go to the gym and be really unhealthy.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, all I want to do is live longer and be able to like pick up my grandkids, not have a back pain, run away from like a robber.
And looking lang.
Like that's, you know, it's just a consequence.
I completely understand. Yeah.
But like everyone's still got a bit of vanity. You still feel nice when your clothes drop nicely. Your suit looks
it does,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Have you dealt with body dysmorphia? You know, as a guy?
Not this. It's never got to that
Even
stage.
though it's mild.
Really? Oh yeah, really mild. Like they'll like even now. I'm just gonna be honest, because I've not been working out. I've lost a lot of like. I know
that is the worst. Like when you don't go to the gym and then you start feeling soft.
Yes, exactly. Like I'm in my soft phase right now. Like I'm being serious. I feel
you don't
really,
look it though.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. But like, why am I doing this all the time?
I'm
trying to be Pharrell. I don't know. Like, thank you.
I think it's a thing now.
Blessings. Humble.
Yeah.
No, so like right now I'm in my soft.
I think it's the posture of your heart.
I think. Thank you. That's what. see, I said. With my hands here now.
Yeah.
You do start wearing baggier clothes until you fill out.
I know,
you start
man.
doing little things. So I'm in my.
For me, it's when my legs, like when they start feeling soft.
And you sit down or
You know. I usually test and when I do this and then I see.
Do you have the little? Come on.
And when it start disappearing, I'm like, oh no.
You just start squatting.
Yeah, I start squatting just
for no reason,
haphazardly, you know.
Just in the kitchen.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel better now.
Yeah, exactly. Just need that little pump.
A little bit.
Yeah. So guys go through it as well.
The pump.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, especially chest,
Hey.
the upper body.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
It's mad. Yeah, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
It's the best, like especially when you put on the black t-shirt finally, and then it just if it fits right.
Yeah.
So we do it for that reason too.
Yeah.
But the overarching reason is I'm just trying not to die. Like if we're gonna really get to the
very good point.
Yeah, just try not to
die.
Try not to
just
die.
actually live.
Yeah.
Fashion content. Who inspires you the most? Just on top of your mind.
So I wouldn't say it's like an individual. I think back in the day,
you borrow from
exactly like you'll scroll, you'll be like, I like this, but that doesn't look good on me. But then this is my body type.
Yeah.
So you kind of create your own
sense of style.
Right. Yeah.
You give me like neutral vibes for the most
part.
part.
Yeah, like plain. Neutral.
I wouldn't say plain. I'd say neutral.
Yeah,
So I think you play a lot with like what do you call it? Texture.
Yes.
Yeah, because I like that a lot. So it's not necessarily. What would you say, colorful?
Yeah.
But you know, color. Minimal, but still you play around with the texture and.
I feel seen.
Yeah.
I feel really seen.
Yeah. Speaking of which. House of Eli.
You remember? No way. You're really good at this. You're really good at this. Yeah. You're really good. That was. I have to say that's such a good throwback. Ironically, this is one of the pieces, and I've not worn this for like 3 years. So this was a sample that I made.
Yeah.
So back to the thing when I came and I started doing fashion and guys were liking it, I said, okay, perfect. Let me make a fashion line. Naive. Okay, it's my third one I tried to start. I started them in the UK as well.
Oh, wow.
That's what failure is important, man. Like,
yeah.
So I came here and I was like, okay, cool. I want to have half of my clothing I make and then half of it I import because people liked what I was wearing already.
Right.
So then I was like, Dad, I need a loan. I'm going to invest in this for the third time.
Yeah.
And it was like, haven't paid back for the last one, but okay. Right?
I did the same thing.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this just before.
So, okay, I paid him back with the lights. But there's
child.
another business that I started. I asked a loan. I have never paid back. Dad, I'm so sorry. I'll pay you back, I promise.
Share this episode and then it'll be monetized and then...
Yeah.
So, long story short, I started it, but then I realized I hadn't done market research.
Yeah.
So... I was sort of left with like my designs, my stock. And I said, you know what, pause. Like, because what happens, I think, is people are like, yes, I'll buy from you. Yes, I'd buy at this price. But when it's here, guys like, there's more rent is due type thing. So I was like, I need to grow my audience to a certain point.
Yeah.
But I know ultimately on my having to-do list is I need to start a fashion line again.
I've been seeing you be quite busy. So I was just thinking,
oh no,
I don't know.
I wish it was. Like, that's another venture. I like doing multiple things.
Would you do... You would at some point?
Fashion line?
Yeah.
I have to, 100%.
Would you do a women's?
I'd like it to be like...
Unisex?
Yeah,
like I think that would, because I sometimes buy some of my clothing items from the male section.
And vice versa, guys are now starting to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so having something where they can both
collide. Yeah.
I feel like you're in my brain. That's exactly
I'm telling you.
I'm really impressed by that question. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
No one remembers that, which is good. So when it comes back, it's like new thing.
Well, we're gonna bring it back. We've just revived it.
Done.
Pressure.
Exactly. Which we like.
What advice would you give people, including me, who want to start a podcast, who want to delve into content creation, who want to, maybe start a YouTube channel?
I think you've got this already though.
Okay.
Have like a why as to why you're doing it, like what you want to give your audience. And I've always said, again, it doesn't have to be profound. It can be laughter, humor, stories, information, bringing certain people on.
Right.
But have something that they can learn from you, because then they'll stick around, and you'll find people that would never leave because they're always going to get value.
Yeah.
And also, it's very satisfying for you when
Yeah.
you're also getting the value while you're making the content.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's number one. And then having structure.
Yeah.
Because you can, after two or so years, you'll be like, okay, what the hell do I post now?
Right.
But if you've planned, fail to plan, plan to fail. So if you've planned ahead, you'll always know what's going to go out. So a good way to do it, I used to do this back in the day. I've not done it for a while.
All right.
But like, ideally have like content pillars that you'd
Yes.
use. You must be familiar working.
Yeah.
So content pillars, so that there's a nice rotation, nice routine, and you're staying in your
But-
not lane, but like niche that
Yes.
you want people to come to you for.
Yeah.
So I'd definitely do that. Then consistency is also one of the hugest things and the hardest things to maintain.
Yeah, it's the name of the game.
100%. But if you have those things, you can remain consistent when it's tough because you have a why.
Yeah.
And you can remain consistent when you don't have ideas because you have structure when it comes to pillars. So those would be like the three things that I would say. Yeah. And be patient. Sorry, patience. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time we've met.
Yeah.
When we're sober.
Correct. Yes. It's just been
Because
vibes every time.
the other times we've met,
It's just been like, just from my concert flow.
yo, the last time I met Eli, I think you had like your shirt buttoned up till here. By the time I saw you, your shirt was open.
Yeah, this was not my doing. Can I be honest with you? I was a victim of that
what?
evening.
We were all victims of that event. Hey, that event was
It was a
fire.
vibe. I can't lie.
It was
such a
pretty
vibe.
dope.
We need another one.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
What, next week? See my birthday.
Done. I'm very excited to hear this like theme or whatever.
Yeah. It's gonna be dope.
Can I ask you a final question?
Sure.
What's your dream for the pod? Like, what's your ultimate goal and dream?
Whoa, that's a good question. I don't fully know.
It's okay. Yeah.
But I'd say what we were talking before, it's for sure what I'm seeing now and the trajectory of the podcast, it's conversations that are really authentic. Sure, some things that you can learn from. Obviously talking to interesting people that I can learn from as well. I told you this, I don't want to put a great deal on the numbers and per se like the people that come in that have clout. I mean, and if that happens, that's cool.
Just
but
a by
it's
the way,
yeah,
right?
but it's because I want the content to be really good.
Facts.
So giving back value and maybe also refining my thoughts, like maybe I have these preconceived ideas and I meet someone who shares something. It's like, oh, wait, I never actually thought of it that way. And then dropping those thoughts and shedding them per se and then adopting like new ideas that
100%.
benefit me. I don't know if that answers the,
It really does.
the
It
questions,
really does.
but
And that's a perfect like perspective to have when you're going into it. So I think
think
you
so?
very well. 100%. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like it's amazing how you came from UK and came back to Kenya, and you are able to like, let's say, so far, like you've been able to assimilate to the Kenyan like system. Like, what's your biggest fear?
Philosophical questions.
Deep. My biggest fear. Okay, so there's I don't want to seem like a guy that just drops books.
Come
But
on now, please.
there's a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. It's like super popular. And one of the concepts he says is that he and
Is it the guy that lost weight and then he's
the
like
army guy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's insane.
What? Who gonna carry the boats?
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Ruthless as well. He's so ruthless. So one of his concepts towards the end of the book, he says that, and this he articulates what I thought. That's why I'm going to use his one. It's much better. So he says, imagine going to, if you believe in God or not, imagine going to like the Golden Gates, right? And then there's like a sheet of paper that had all of your potential on it that you're supposed to do in life. And then or like it's folded, right? And one of the sides is what you should have done, and one of the sides is what you did do. And then he sort of shows you your side and what you're supposed to do, and he shows you what you did, and like this list is way longer, and he's giving you all these tools, all these gifts, all this talent to do it right. And he's like, so his biggest fear is at the end of his life, he'll get into the gates, knowing that I was given all of this and I only did like 3 out of 12. So what he did in his life is, like you said, he was super overweight. He used to just work as like an exterminator for like rats and stuff. Then he turned his life around. He's done like so many Guinness World Records, like Army SEAL, like highest achiever in the army. And he was like, that if he didn't like make the step from being an exterminator, his list would have been like this. You killed rats, you got a job, you just got a mortgage, and you chilled. Right? Rats. That's what he did. Like, you just killed rats and you died. But then, like...
so that's your legacy.
I swear, can you imagine? What did your dad do?
Kill rats, rodents.
I swear. So he was like, so he's so glad that he put his body through so much adversity, because now his list is as long as his arm, whereas it could have been complacent and stayed there. So similarly to me, my biggest fear when I do anything is that what's been put inside me, I don't use, I don't achieve, and I can look back when I'm 70, 80 and be like, I had so much energy and potential, but I've ended up here because I didn't try, or I didn't put in my like 100%. So that's my biggest fear, not living up to my full potential. I could have just said that.
No, that's perfectly put. That's one fear I also have, is not fulfilling and utilizing the gifts that I have. And I talked about this in episode 1 in the podcast. Look at me using myself as a reference point.
Go off. I love it.
I mentioned that God gives you a purpose, and if you steward that purpose really well, He adds more purposes to your life. So it's and I think sometimes it has to do with maybe someone else wasn't willing. So He will use you because you were willing, even though that wasn't necessarily your your calling, your like your initial purpose, but because you were willing and you steward it so well, He gives you, He grows your capacity to handle these things
more and more. That's wild. I really like the idea of Him giving you more purpose. Based on what you've
purpose.
Done.
It's not just one. It's stewardship.
That's really good. I've learned something today.
I mean, I've learned something.
I'm gonna regurgitate that because it was mine.
And like,
but guys, you know, when God,
it looked like you
exactly.
You thought about it, and you're just like, guys, you know, I've been thinking about this.
Call it the flow concept.
Watch this video.
Is it? Oh, there's
the next one.
Nice. Please do.